want to buy a BMW B58 car, but you don't know which one of these two cars you should choose. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the BMW M340i versus the A90 Toyota Supra. If you guys didn't know, I actually used to have a Supra, but I traded it in for this M340i right here. And I'm going to talk all about why I did that and give you a comparison between these two cars because my friend Lucas just bought this brand new 2021 A90 Toyota Supra. And if I'm being honest, it's got me missing my car a little bit. But look at these two cars. This is my 2020 BMW M340i. And like I said, this is my friend Lucas's brand new 2021 A90 Toyota Supra. If you guys hear anything in the background, there's a guy driving a little RC C8 over there, but he's actually got a real C8. But both of these cars are extremely similar. They are both powered by the BMW B58 engine, which is a single turbo inline 6 engine. And not only are the engines almost exactly the same, but a lot of these suspension components and a lot of other parts of the car are actually exactly the same as well. The main two differences between these cars is that this is a 4-door G chassis car, and the Supra is based on the BMW Z4 chassis. So let's start this comparison video by talking about the Supra, because if you're a regular subscriber of the channel, I'm sure you've seen all my other videos on the BMW M340i. So he just bought this Supra right here, and my god is it beautiful. It's got a couple mods, it's got aftermarket badges in the front, which I'm not really a big fan of. But if I'm being honest, it's crazy because he got this Street Hunter rear wing, and this thing is all carbon fiber. And not only is there aesthetic mods in this car, but it's also tuned on a JB4, and it's also got a callus downpipe and a muffler delete. It sounds almost exactly the same as my car, which is a callus downpipe and a Valvetronic exhaust. But both of these cars are pretty much exactly the same, at least when talking about performance. If you look at the interior of the Supra, it's honestly one of my favorite interiors that I've ever seen. Lucas actually told me before that these are one of the most comfortable seats that he's ever sat in. And just hopping on the inside, I think I have to agree. Well, I actually just hit my head on the roof right here, and that's not something that I missed when I sold my Supra. No matter how tall or short you are, you always have to duck when getting in this car because it is such a low roof. And wow, there's really not a lot of space in here. But it's almost like a cozy interior, I'd say. It's not like I'm claustrophobic in here, but it's definitely a small interior. He's got this aftermarket steering wheel with the shifting lights that actually matches perfectly. It actually matches perfectly with the red leather on the seats and the red leather on the door. I think the best part about this interior by far is this right here. The carbon fiber in the center console is so beautiful. All right, so Lucas just gave me the keys, so we're gonna take this thing for a ride. All right, so we're actually gonna drive a Supra for the first time since selling it after 2 years. Let's put it into sport mode and start it up. God, I missed that. Don't mind all the noise because, I mean, he's got a callus downpipe on here, so he's still got his check engine light because, like I said, he's on a JB4. But damn, let's take it for a ride. Oh, the guy's recording me. This is gonna be fun though. God, it picks up so much better than my M340. And that's because it's way lighter. This thing is like, I want to say 3,400 pounds, 3,200 pounds, probably 3,400 pounds. But the M340 I think is like almost 4,000, especially because I have the X Drive, which makes it a lot heavier. Oh, this thing sounds so good. It sounds just like my M340, but it just sounds so much better. The wheel's a little bit big for my hands, but I mean, this thing is so nice. I don't know what it is about this car, but I really just miss it. So we're gonna do a pull right here. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see what I'm seeing instead of seeing my reaction. But yeah, let's do it. Oh, the boy's filming. Woo! All right, one more, but you guys are gonna see my reaction now. Oh my God, it pulls so much better than the M340. Oh my gosh. It's just so much lighter. And I don't know how he has no wheel spin on this thing. Even though my car is like 4,000 pounds and it's X-Drive, it's all-wheel drive, this thing just picks up so much quicker. And it's honestly that weight. That's my biggest problem with newer BMWs is the weight. The 4,000 pounds is just insane. I think I've got to take that for one more pull. They're still recording me because they know how happy I am to be back in the Supra. Oh man, this thing pulls so good. Wow, I miss this car so much. Let's see what my friends thought. Bro, I miss this car so much.
Yo, bro, you were smiling the whole fucking time, bro.
And you blushing.
Bro, it just picks up so quick.
The way you were smiling.
Bro, I caught you. Yeah, look at me.
That's that.
Fire as fuck.
Hold on, let that focus. Oh my
Yo,
God,
watch
you gotta
that
send
photo.
that to me. All right, Luke's got to get to class, but we're gonna pop the hood, pop the trunk, show you more about this car before he has to leave. This thing probably looks exactly like, yep, exactly like my M340. The only thing I'd say is that there's more space under here, but that's because it's a Z4 chassis, and the front of the car is a lot bigger. He's got pretty much all the same exact mods that I had on my car. I had an air intake, this split strut bar, which is probably the best looking thing on the car. He's got a carbon fiber engine cover, but this hood looks so big. It makes me miss my Supra so much because this car was such an awesome looking car. And that by far is, I think, the best thing about the Supra, is that if you want a really good looking car, I mean, the M340 looks pretty good, as well as all the other cars my friends have. C6 Corvette, M4, M3, but I think by far the Supra is one of the best looking cars that there is out there. I think the only problem that I ever had with the Supra was probably the trunk space. And just to give you a quick look at the trunk space, he's got a bag full of roadside gear on there and just his personal gym bag, his backpack, and that's really it. The trunk is pretty much full. I do go on road trips all the time, so having a car with a lot of trunk space was something that was important to me. And obviously the rear wheel drive, even though this one picked up so good today, the rear wheel drive only in the winter was really not my favorite thing. That's all we have with the Mark V Supra. He's gonna give us a quick launch so we can hear this thing from the outside. Heard that turbo flutter?
That was like my first time launching.
Bro, I said, yo, your turbo's at...
Yeah.
But man, this Supra looks so good. Alright, so just to compare both these cars to an actual M car, Hector gave me the keys to his F80 M3. So before the sun goes down, we're going to take you for a ride so we can compare the M340 and the Supra to an actual M car. Alright, let's hop in the F80 M3. These seats make you feel like you have a big back because they're so sporty, but these competition seats are so nice. Turn the car on. I don't know if you heard that over the Supra because Hector doesn't have an exhaust, but he does have the stock M Performance exhaust, which is way better than just the stock F80 exhaust. I mean, sometimes his car sounds like it has catalyst downpipes, but it doesn't. It just has the M Performance exhaust, and I think that's what makes it so much better, because if it sounds like this, then what does a car with catalyst downpipes sound like? And typical M Light owner, I don't know how to put this thing into drive with the DCT. Shifting and... Alright, this thing is way more aggressive than my car, way more aggressive than the Supra. It sounds so good and it shifts so good, and that wasn't even in the most aggressive shifting setting. My god, sometimes you drive other people's cars and you realize exactly what your car is missing, and my car is missing whatever the hell this car has. The F80 is just, oh my gosh, like, I don't know which arm is getting tired. The arm that's holding the camera or the arm that's having to move this steering wheel, because the steering is so much heavier on this car. Just one more pull before we hop in the M340. Oh my gosh. The shifts are just so, like, aggressive. You feel so much more in this car than you feel in the Supra or the M340.
Yo, Ryan, this is power for real. I forgot what power is.
you might switch to American cars, huh?
Maybe. What are these?
All right, we're taking a ride in a C6 Corvette. How much? 500 horsepower?
Yeah, 500.
All right. The seatbelt's broken. Bro, what the hell is this? What the hell? Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo, what the fuck was that? Oh my god! I screamed like Mrs. Puff. Bro, what the hell? Alright, so now we're back at the park. Same stuff, different day, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a recap of what we did yesterday, as well as finish out my final thoughts on the M340i versus the A90 Toyota Supra. So it was my first time driving a Supra since I sold my Supra 2 years ago. And for my first thoughts, I've got to say that thing is so light. And even though he only had a JB4 on there compared to my full bolt-on custom tuned M340i, that thing was still pretty fast, and it's because of the weight. Those Supras only weigh like 3,400 pounds, so it's so easy for them to pick up. But we're going to take a look at my M340 and talk about all the reasons why I got it and why I love it. Before we answer the question if I really miss my A90 Supra or not. Now there's two things that really stand out about this M340 that really make it better than the Supra in my opinion, and that's the all-wheel drive and the space that this car has. Yesterday my friend Hector and I swapped cars just for a little bit, so I drove his F80 M3 and he drove my M340i, and he was trying to get it to slip out and it just wouldn't. And I think that's one of the best parts about this car is the all-wheel drive system is so good. It gives you so much grip, but just that small perfect amount of fun, because the xDrive and BMWs are rear biased, so you get something like 70% of power in the rear, or maybe even 60% compared to the 30 or 40% that you get in the front. And that makes for a totally practical car, but what also makes it practical is the crazy amount of space that you have. I mean, look, I love the Supra, but getting into that thing again made me realize how small it was in the inside. You are not gonna have that problem in here. There is plenty of space for everybody. But what really makes the difference is this: the trunk opens up to reveal all this space inside. And you've got so much. I've got cubbies on the left and the right, and I usually keep my trunk empty, but I filled it up for this video today because I've got my camera gear, my gym bag, and a 5-gallon water bottle back there. I've got some hoodies and a jacket back there. Probably can't see it, but there's just so much space in this trunk, and that's really what made me buy it. So to answer the question, which car should you buy? Should you take a 3,400 pound A90 Supra with rear-wheel drive only, or a BMW M340i that's 4,000 pounds, all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, has 4 doors and plenty of space? If I had to pick one, I really enjoy my car and I'm glad that I got it, but I do miss my Supra. I think that car is so good looking and so cool. You just get a different look on your face when a kid comes up to you and asks, is that a Supra? It's just crazy. There's really no other car that looks as good as that car. And although all my friends have different cars, we saw an F80 M3 in this video, a C6 Corvette with 500 horsepower. We saw my 500 horsepower M340i. You actually didn't see my friend's stage 2 tuned F80 M4, but I think next time we've got to get a video with him because that thing is awesome. But even with all those options on the market and way more that I didn't even talk about, I still think the Supra is probably the coolest looking car out of all of them. That car just looks so different, and that JDM styling is so beautiful. So yes, I do miss that Supra, and I think it is the better car if you don't need the space. But if you've watched this far into the video, then make sure you stay tuned over the next couple months because I might just have a brand new car coming to the channel. And hey, if everything goes good, maybe a JDM project car as well. And yes, I'm super serious, but if you're not subscribed already, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and watch this video right over here to find out every reason why I sold my A90 Toyota Supra. And with all that being said, guys, I'm Ryan from Gears and Gains, and I'll see you in the next video.